Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tok Piksa. Tonight we travel to the Enga province. In the last week of 2013 and into the eve of the new year, Enga held its first ever development forum. The main purpose of the forum was to facilitate a gathering of Enga's most accomplished professionals. The reason for their coming together was to share and explore innovative solutions to build on the province's current successes and improve on its failures. The two-day forum was the brainchild of Governor Peter Ipatas and organized by a committee of 9 accomplished Engan professionals from various walks of life. The team bluntly put to the forum that the initiative was not a platform that would tolerate political showmanship, political debates, or politicking in any shape or form. Their shared vision of the meeting was clear: to change Enga for the better. Bernadette Effie attended the development forum and filed this special Tok Piksa report.
Enga is located in the northernmost region of the highlands of Papua New Guinea, having been divided from the Western Highlands to become a separate province when the provinces were created at the time of independence in 1975. The people of Enga are called Engans. They speak one language in all its 5 districts with approximately over 500,000 people. The Engans remain richly embedded in their cultural heritage. Courting, bride price, compensation, deaths and family reunions, amongst others, are very valuable and expensive events. Geographically, Enga is the second most rugged province to Simbu province in the country. Like many other highland Papua New Guineans living west of the Dalo Pass between Simbu and Eastern Highlands provinces, the traditional Engan settlement style is that of scattered homesteads dispersed throughout the landscape. Frequent ethnic clashes have destroyed many of these communities, state properties and businesses. Despite this, the province boasts about Pogara. Pogara Gold Mine is a large gold and silver mining operation. It began production in 1990. It is currently being developed by Barrick Gold. The developer holds a 95% ownership of the operation, 5% by the provincial government, national government and landowners. The mine has contributed immensely to the country's economy and the province as well. It has initiated a lot of community projects and programs for the people and continues to do so today. But Enga's pride is the fee-free education policy that has been implemented for over 15 years now. As a result, Enga has produced some of the country's most accomplished professionals. Just recently, many of these professionals returned home to give back to their province. They were all united by the first Enga Development Forum. The Development Forum was held on the 29th to the 31st of December 2013 at the Highlands Lutheran International School in the Wapenamanda district. The first day was just formalities and opening speeches by the guest of honor, the Speaker of the National Parliament, Theo Zerenwalk.
It is not easy to congregate learned people of a particular district or a particular region. It takes time, and I think, Governor, you have done it. I commend you for doing this now. I know it is difficult because I have tried that for Finchaven. It is one district. It's much smaller than Enga, but I am not successful yet. I still have to try, but that is the reason I came here. I want to learn from you the tricks you have, the attributes you have. Whilst we plan to continue developing our province and nation, we are faced with challenges. And one of them, which we have on many occasions at many times mentioned is, of course, corruption. Another maybe is the general rise in lawlessness and disorder in our communities. And I believe that the lack of strong moral and ethical values and principles in our people have contributed a great deal to this phenomenon. The time has now come for the development of human resource to shift into another dimension. The human resource development must now encompass the development of our people's moral and ethical values, because an individual's appreciation of acceptable values and norms determines the attitudes, behaviors, views, and perceptions of a person.
Mr. Zurenuok talked about the importance of maintaining cultures, traditions, materials that give us our identity. The speaker said despite the numerous accusations and allegations against his actions in the House of Parliament, the cleansing exercise will continue. He said the carvings that were removed.
Anyway, in the new year, I will be inviting each province to nominate a culturally significant item representative of the 22 provinces in Papua New Guinea, so we can place them in the Grand Hall of Parliament.
Enga Governor Peter Ipatas backed the speaker, saying the exercise was reasonable. The forum was an initiative of the governor. He said it was not a political gimmick, rather an avenue for like-minded professionals to brainstorm and come up with innovative ideas to assist the provincial government and respective members of parliament from the province to develop effective policies.
And we realized that through the government system it was going to be a slow process and people like me would be frustrated. So we thought this was a better way of doing it. In fact, in order to submit project proposals, and if you want to do anything, you have to have the basic database. We didn't have it. So it was our vision that this foundation would take on that project and actually have a proper database for us. Well, the board hasn't reported to me or anybody, so I don't know if they've done that. But that was one of our important tasks that we wanted the foundation to undertake. The other thing that we wanted was that this had to become an announcement for the province. I could ask anybody else to do it, but asking somebody else to do it wasn't going to work. Sometimes people sit down and criticize, but they just don't do anything. So through this foundation, we were hoping that they would connect to all the elites, our professionals, and actually have a person-to-person contact. This was one way of actually uniting the people of Enga. We wanted to have this organization to be seen as the houseman, where you could interact. You could talk about issues, development issues for the province, or development issues affecting the nation. And so that was one of the reasons why we thought my system, my administration couldn't be able to deliver me that. So it was best to get a foundation outside our system to connect with the elites. And many elites don't want to have anything to do with us politicians. If you call the name Ipatas to somebody, they will turn away, or don't put it, they will say, Maski, or right, or, that's practical. So we wanted this to be a political grouping.
The governor thanked all those present for making time available to attend the forum. He spoke passionately about the achievements so far. He also talked about Enga's failures. One thing he was adamant about was that the future looked bright.
And, one of the options we are looking at now is that the foundation can keep all the database, but we can manage all school fees, not the elementary to to secondary level, which is all funded 100% by the national government. But the further, the doctor, what do you call that? You educated people will have to give me the right, postgraduate training, specialized training. Those are the things we want to look at. So we will still give loans to working people to go ahead and further the education. So it's we're getting there. But as I said, the foundation needs to beef up its capacity. We are still going to fund them to do what they're supposed to do, but at the same time transfer the loan scheme to the microbank. As soon as it's established, one of the functions of the microbank will be to immediately manage the school fee program. So if any Angans want to send kids to to overseas, now you are restricted. But when we do it under the microbank, if we see that you qualify to meet the criteria, you will be able to send your kids wherever you want to.
Among speakers at the forum included former Enga Education Advisor and Provincial Administrator Wabeg MP Robert Ganim. Mr. Ganim, also the chairman of the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Education, made a presentation on quantity to quality, the quest to transforming education in Enga schools. The province has been a proud advocate of fee-free education since 1997. Total enrollment to date has increased by 59% in both males and females. Performance has been consistent since 2002, seeing students scoring above 50% in all subjects. The province remains in the top 10 of the country's academic ratings. However, Mr. Ganim reported shortfalls. He said as the number of students increase, there was shortage in school materials, fast eroding infrastructure, staff shortage, and staff housing issues. One major factor affecting quality was the frequent tribal fights. The provincial government also offered incentives to attract public servants into the province. However, this did not work out for many districts. The forum also discussed these shortfalls and suggested ways to best address them. Mr. Ganim recommended that the Enga Provincial Education Plan 2006 to 2015 be reviewed and a database established to monitor and address the education system. The forum also discussed the successes and failures of the health sector, law and order, churches, NGOs, SME training to empower the unemployed, and overall infrastructure. Chairman of the forum organizing committee, Ambassador Evan Paki, said it was a successful forum. Recommendations to the provincial government included policies on how to improve the overall status of the fee-free education and health policies, law enforcers' equipments, buildings and housing, growing the small to medium enterprises sector to empower the unemployed, road sealing programs, and overall infrastructure maintenance.
Was just brainstorming with development partners, with members of the business community, diplomatic community, and educated Angans from all walks of life, just brainstorming on all these issues. And then we had an overview from the administration, the provincial government, on each one of these areas. They gave us an overview on what the accomplishments to date are, what are the challenges and the way forward as they saw it. And so the challenges for the rest of us to really figure out how do we work with them, how do we bring these levels of progress to the next level, how do we work on education, which has really been Governor Ipit's vision from the start, from over a decade ago. So how do we bring it to the next level? How do we transition from quantity to quality education? And so in the hospital, hopefully in 12 months' time, it'll be under construction. So it'll put a different perspective on some of these same issues. But as I said, depending on the feedback we receive from other stakeholders.
The forum is now an annual event. Committee Chairman Evan Parkey is adamant this year's forum is expected to be bigger and better. New topics will be introduced and discussed. One very important topic already suggested from this forum is corruption.
And so whatever recommendations or feedback we receive, we'll put together and see whether we're going to cover the same issues or may include other hot topics as well. For instance, corruption may be a topic that we may had. People mentioned that, a lot of people recommended that we should, in this year's forum, we should have that. And some of them will be the same kind of issues, because these are, you can't discuss these challenges and issues and forget about them. I mean, you could work at them, you could address them on a sustained level. So, and thus the ongoing issues. The only thing will be when we discuss this year, explore the same topics, will be what have we accomplished in the last 12 months since our first or inaugural forum. What have we accomplished? Are we on target? What is the success rate now in the last 12 months?
Mr. Parkey is among the many accomplished Angans serving the country in foreign missions. He served as the ambassador for PNG to the United States of America from 2003 to 2012. He is currently the ambassador for PNG in Canada and Mexico. During his 9 years of service as the ambassador in the U.S., Mr. Parkey holds a Master's of Law from the Harvard Law School. He said all these suggestions from the panel discussions are of great importance to the future development of their province. The Anga Development Forum Committee has compiled the recommendations and will be compiling them and submitting to the provincial government and the 5 Angan members of parliament for Wabeg, Kandep, Amanda, Lagai Pogora, and Kompiam Ambum in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
When I say we, the committee, we have a committee, organizing committee in place. You met most, if not all of them. People from different walks of life. Most are here in the country, in private sector, and in the public sector, in the NGO with development partners. But some came in from overseas as well. We had, for instance, a couple of professors from Australia came in. So what we're going to do is, based on the findings or the report that's yet to be put together relating to this year's forum, we will explore the issues, look at the recommendations, and then, and of course, we will send an interim report out to all stakeholders, including the provincial government, all members of parliament from the province, supporters and sponsors, other stakeholders like key government agencies, national planning, treasury, finance, health, education, works and implementation, and others.
It is now the prerogative of officers to implement and allocate the best for Anga this year.
Anga Governor Peter E. Patas, renowned for his strong and continued push toward an educated and progressive province, has now tapped into the fruits of that education to find people who have experience, enthusiasm, and the drive to make their province a better place. Already, Anga is anticipating a bigger and better development forum in 2014. If anything, Anga as a province is already fast becoming a model for other provinces in the country to follow. That in itself is already an achievement. We'll do this again next time on Tok Piksa. Good night.